What's up?
What is up? What is up? It is me. It is I. I am the greatest there is, the greatest there was, and the greatest there ever will be. I am greatness personified. Myself, yes, greatness, Stoney, greatness, and I am here with the man of the hour, the myth, the legend,
The pig in the blanket,
the activist, the author, the entertainer, the educator, philanthropist,
it's kind of long.
the pig in a blanket. Yes, it's long because everything is long. So show some respect. Bend the knee. Because it come from all across the world to see. The man who wears the crown that hangs 2 inches from the ground. Think about it. He is your king. He's my king. He's King Kevyn!
Thank you. What's going on? Yes. Oh, I love you guys too. Welcome to the GreatMines Show. I'm your boy King Kevyn with some greatness here. Happy Pride,
Happy Pride, everybody. Yeah.
It's Pride Month, so we wanted to make sure that we gave y'all a little bit of give you the colors. And I was trying to give you a little more of All right. We can't play with so much or they want to block us. So that's all y'all get. I'm coming. All right, y'all get it. So we have to talk.
Yes.
I am very unhappy. Like, is there another? You want to review baddies from now on?
Oh.
Or bad boys? Maybe we should do a review of bad boys from this point. I know, like, I'm late in the game.
Yeah, you
but
are bad boys, sir.
Yeah, I'm a little late with that, but it's like I need something to tickle that for me because I've just lost that.
Well, it is what it is. It can't be what it ain't, and we're gonna.
I know, right?
Let's talk about it.
I know.
So, I mean, as you guys know, we are your first review spot when it comes to RuPaul's Drag Race. So make sure that if you are a fan of RuPaul's Drag Race, you like, comment, share, subscribe. Share this to all the RuPaul's Drag Race fan pages because we are always the first ones that come to you Sunday at 5. After the show on Friday, we're the first ones to review it. All right. So right after we watch Pit Stop, we are talking about it, getting ready for you guys. So show us some love, like, share, subscribe, all that, and we appreciate it. So getting to Friday's episode of RuPaul's Drag Race.
Which episode? So I'm so lost and upset and in my feelings about this that I lost track of which episode this is. This is 6, I think.
Yes, I think so. 6. Episode 6. All Stars Season 8, Episode 6.
The episode that escaped us. The episode that became Phantom of the Night for me.
So as you guys can see, the King is
unhappy.
Very hurt right now.
Yes,
so
that is a good way to put it.
From the episode.
I'm so disappointed. I'm so hurt. And you would think from 2 episodes leading up to this episode that there was enough warning to kind of like prepare you to brace on for this. And even when I knew it was happening and I saw it happening, I'm like, this ain't about to happen, is it? And it happened.
Yeah. So
very unhappy.
Yeah. So big news: Heidi in closet self-eliminated herself from all competitions. That includes the Fame game as well. So we're going to talk about it and we'll set the scene. If you guys watched Friday's episode, you guys know that, or the past Friday's episode, the past couple episodes or all season, you've seen that I would say that the spark with Heidi has kind of waned a bit and kind of got dimmer as the competition has gone on, in part because she hasn't been in the tops and she hasn't been getting that direct critiques from the judges. So she's just been safe, which is good in all honesty. And
it sucks because she is being lumped in with a couple of girls who have been safe undeservingly.
Right, yes.
And she has, excelled in almost every challenge. Even though she didn't win, some of those challenges I think she was snubbed on. Mm-hmm. But take it with a grain of salt. But she's seeing that with all that she's giving, is not being received, and it really sucks to be putting your best foot forward. All this growth that she wanted to show the world, and
I think she's showing it. She is definitely showing it. So over the past few weeks, like we've seen that the competition has been taking a toll on Heidi, especially because it's not going the way that I guess that she initially planned or feels that it's going. You can see, hey Rex, how are you?
What's going on?
We see what Heidi was doing. I mean, she's been consistently in our top 3 since the beginning. So we saw it, but she felt that the judges weren't seeing it. And then there was this week's Maxi Challenge was a Snatch Game of Love. Okay, so and it's a kind of difficult episode to review because it's the Snatch Game of Love. Whenever RuPaul does any form of the Snatch Game, it's like, it's a big deal. It's a big episode,
right?
Because this is what makes this is the benchmark for the season. A good season, as far as is determined by its Snatch Game, to be honest. So you can have great runways, but if your season Snatch Game was trash, your season is trash. Season 14. All right. So during the Snatch Game of Love, Coco Montrese, who did
Kahana
Montrese, who played Coco Montrese.
Stop. Do you think that was a good choice or a bad choice to do Coco?
I thought it was a good choice if she had went there. And the thing about it is that she was doing ornery Coco. So you got to be ornery the whole time. Be angry the whole time, like serious, angry black man woman. Serious.
Yeah.
And that's where she should have went.
It's not the fact that when Rue came in the workroom to talk to her, she brought a whole bucket of Cheetos over. Mm-hmm. First time I say she's not about to do Trump, is she?
Well, I thought that she was going to do Honey Boo Boo, because that's the thing with eating Cheetos and stuff like that. Yeah. Cheese balls was Honey Boo Boo. She wanted cheese balls all the time. So I thought she was going to do like a Honey Boo Boo. And I'm like, oh, okay, all right. I don't know how you're going to pull that off, but all right. Go for it. And then it was like, no, I'm going to be Coco Montrese. Oh, okay.
Yeah. And,
all right, I can see that. Then it was like, okay, all right, hopefully you can make it funny. And she should have just went all the way with ornery, angry
I think Coco. She should have stepped outside of the box. I think she felt too comfortable with it being her mom that she thought she had it in the bag. And I feel like that was too comfortable for her. She should have picked another character that she had to step. Because if you go out there, you're already out there. I mean, you sank anyway, but at least throw your net out far.
But see, you got to, and the thing about it is, like, you can make any person, even your mom, if you are good, and you are a real superstar, you can make anyone, even your mom, funny. You take a quality that is or a quirk that is something that is unique, identifiable, and over exaggerated, and be off the top and make them whoever it is, because we don't know Coco outside of what was presented to us on Drag Race. So you could show us a different aspect of Coco, but in a more caricature kind of way.
Right. That's what it should have been. That's what it's supposed to be.
Exactly. And she didn't accomplish that.
Let me ask you a question. Do you feel like Snatch Game of Love adds a different challenge because everyone's so used to the regular Snatch Game?
No.
Because okay.
No. I do not.
Okay.
I do not. And
I think it actually maybe give a little more freedom, because you're not stuck to having to answer a specific question.
Right. And try to make things funny. You know what I mean? Whereas you have way more freedom, because these questions are going to be open-ended. So, whereas it's like, a one-word answer and then you got to try and make a bit out of that answer, it's definitely, you can have, you can develop a full bit, right then and there.
And you actually have a lot more banter and time to banter with the Bachelor or whatever.
Or the Snatchlorettes,
Right. The other Snatchlorettes, as well as you got more things to play off of, in my opinion.
Yeah. So, And in the first group was of the Snatch Game of Love was Heidi N Closet's Blackbeard. Then you had Coco or Kahana Montrese. That's Coco Montrese. Then you
have
had
James Mansfield in that one. Was he in that
yes,
lineup?
James Mansfield was Jennifer Coolidge. And then you had Jessica Wilde as Idris Chiron.
Right.
Who is like this? Who is like the Puerto Rican superstar before J-Lo. So and I thought that group was pretty good. During that,
it was kind of weak.
It was kind of weak, but it was
floating.
The
ship was floating. It wasn't sinking. It wasn't really sailing either. It was just like drifting on the sea.
Yeah. I thought that James Mansfield did a great job with Jennifer Coolidge, but I expected James Mansfield to do a great job with Jennifer Coolidge. Yeah. Then you had Jessica Wilde as Idris Chiron, which I thought was quirky and kind of funny, but not.
It didn't hit.
It didn't hit as much and as hard as her RuPaul did in the very first Snatch Game, because again she just went wild and everything, and I think here she was trying to do her justice, but also have fun with her.
Yeah.
And if you got to straddle a line with that, you know what I mean? And I think that she kind of missed the mark a bit.
She definitely did.
Then you had Heidi Montrese as Coco, and then you had, which we discussed, and then we had Heidi N Closet as Blackbeard, which Heidi N Closet did what I call the Trinity the Tuck, and took the route of like Trinity the Tuck, Rose, Lady Camden, where they picked characters who we know of, but we don't necessarily know who they are.
Doing the boogeyman.
Yeah. And then they just kind of, tried to inhabit the character the best way that they could. And Heidi N Closet made Blackbeard this very, kind of crazy, pirate, like, soft pirate version of Heidi N Closet.
Yeah, because that's all it was. It's Heidi N Closet at the end of the day.
It was Heidi N Closet in a Blackbeard looking like a pirate. So I thought that was a funny, a funny chuckle, type of take on Blackbeard, and some of her jokes were funny chuckle, like the bit with the leg was funny.
So I love me some Heidi. I feel like some of her jokes in that was reaching, like. It was okay, ha ha ha. It was like those as a matter of fact type of jokes for me. It wasn't like side splitting. It was just it was one of my jokes. You weren't supposed to agree with that.
Yes, it was.
You weren't supposed to agree with that.
It's okay. But no, like it was like I said, the bit with the leg was funny, but I think that was about it. And the thing with the Snatch Game and these like improv styles of game is that, especially when you're sinking, you kind of want to latch on to somebody else and then see if y'all can both, or use them to bring you up, or use each other to bring each other up, and as far as the grand scheme of things. And in the course of the game, Heidi was, in my opinion, trying to throw lifelines to Kahana Montrese, who was struggling in the competition. James did save that first group. Yes, James was the bright shining star of that first group. James won that first group, hands down. But Heidi was trying to, establish some back and forth, some banter with Kahana, and Kahana took it personally. Whereas instead of inhabiting the character, this was Kahana, sitting there feeling some type of way.
Yeah.
Like instead of being Coco.
She even said it. She said, I felt like you were kicking me when I was down. Like I wasn't even catching Rue's joke tosses. So why would you? So she really was in her feelings about it. It really wasn't on Heidi. It really was on Kahana. Mm-hmm. But that's her. That's how she expressed her frustrations.
Kahana was butthurt because she just felt the need to be butthurt, to be honest with you. Because if you're in Snatch Game, you need to inhabit the character, and you need to be able to, go back and forth and pull no punches with the other characters. That's the whole thing. And if you can't cut it, then you deserve to be in the bottom, which she
did.
was.
But she accepted that she deserved to be in the bottom as well.
Yeah, and that was a bottom worthy performance. Not saying not the good bottom, not the good bottom, the bad bottom. Peanut butter, peanut butter, peanut butter.
I was too close to the microphone for that laugh. But all right, so let's go to this next group.
Yeah. So
Alexis Michelle, let's start with her.
So Alexis Michelle
because she did my girl. Mm-hmm. And I think she did my girl justice. She could have been a little bit more surly with it. But she gave my girl her due justice.
Like Alexis Michelle is a professional actor in the truest form. Like kudos to Alexis Michelle on the B. Arthur performance. She nailed it. Alexis Michelle is up in, I would say, top 12, definitely top 15, but maybe top 12. I don't think she's in the top 10 of best snatch game.
She won her snatch game.
She won her season, yeah. But I don't think she's in the pantheon of best snatch game.
No, she's not the most memorable. Because there are people,
honestly, who didn't win snatch game on their season,
and they were more memorable.
Had stronger performances than her Liza did. So
this is true.
But she's up there. She's up there as one of the best snatch game players of all time. Let's give Alexis her flowers on that aspect.
Yeah, you have to.
And she did a strong performance on our All-Star season. It was funny. It was B. Arthur. It was accurate. B. Arthur.
And B. Arthur's funny by herself in that cold, dry way.
What did Ross say? It was like perfect. It was done to a T, down to the dress that she could wear, to the Oscars or the pharmacy.
Exactly. I love B. Arthur. Yeah. And just the fact that she did B. Arthur made me feel like, that was for me. Mm-hmm. Thank you, Alexis Michelle, for that.
Yeah.
And with that being said, I'm just going to put a little note that I'm giving her a little extra credit tonight for that. Yeah. I ain't gonna give her a little extra credit tonight for that.
Yeah, she definitely her performance this week definitely gave her a boost in the race.
You kind of have to, because she's never bad. She's usually just okay.
Yeah,
and her just okay is stunning. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but this was definitely a pull ahead of some folks in the race that she was behind.
Yeah,
and pulling closer to some folks that she was way behind as far as in the grand scheme of the race type of performance.
I hate to be Luxnor London, but I feel like I want to tell her that she's generic. I think that's what's wrong with Alexis Michelle, because she's got the look, she's got the talent, she's got the spunk, but she's always going to be safe because she's not doing anything that sets her apart. Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's the run-of-the-mill drag queen.
Yeah.
Because when we talk about Jimbo, which I'm not going to get into it, we have something to talk about. Mm-hmm. When it comes to Alexis, you did great in Snatch Game of Love, but that was the biggest thing you did, and that was somebody who didn't do much, and their comedy was funny because they didn't do much. Mm-hmm. So yeah, we need a little more.
And we'll get to it. Because I would have definitely done something if I was in the Alexis Michelle shoes. Once we
as B. Arthur,
Jimbo, yes, as B. Arthur, once we get to Jimbo.
Oh, so, yes.
Listen, and I want to see if we're on the same.
I think so.
But we're going to move on. So Alexis Michelle did B. Arthur in the second group.
Yes.
Then we had
Candy Muse.
Candy Muse.
Who was she?
As
Teresa?
No.
From New Jersey Housewives?
It wasn't even Teresa. It wasn't even Big Ange.
I'm about to say, but it couldn't have been Big Ange, because Big Ange was Big Ange.
And it was somebody else. I forgot. Tell us in the comments if you know who
Candy was supposed to be.
Muse was supposed to be. Because we will flash it up on the screen to let folks know. But she was some mob wife lady. And
that's all we got.
Yeah. Then we had Lala Ray
as Suki
Hana, all right, who's from Delaware.
I feel like Lala Ray
but
gave a little. She gave a little bit. She was safe. She looked nice in her outfit. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
but that was it. She responded to a few things but not really. She wasn't.
See, and and better have a greatness. Shout out, PJ. But like we were having a discussion during, after watching the show, and he made a point to where the with Sukihana, everything, no matter what, Sukihana always takes it back to her good pussy. And like that should have been the thing. Yeah. No matter what, it all should have led back to the good pussy. You know what I mean? Like, and honestly, and then I got
the thing about it that would have been funny is finding different ways to talk about the good pussy. Right. That's all she really had to do.
Yeah, and that would have been hilarious because it's a running joke, and then you got something that the other Snatch Game people could play off of, and then she can come back with.
Yeah, you know so I think that's what a good Snatch performer do. Yeah, they can play off of the question asked by the host, the contestants, or the other celebrities. They can bounce off everything, and they throw stuff back at people for that banter. It's a conversation. You want to steal the moment, and the more quips I can get in, the better off it's going to look, especially if it's funny. The better off I'm going to look at the end of this game.
Yeah. So, I mean, Lala Reed was solid. Her performance in the Snatch Game earned her safe. Her performance in the Snatch Game, we'll get to the runways in a bit, but just her performance in the Snatch Game got her safe. It was a safe performance for me.
Yeah, I would agree. It was safe. And then we have Jimbo.
Then we have Jimbo, who did Shirley Temple, or as some of you older folks may know her, Shirley Temple Black, because she did get married and grow up, So she Jimbo did Shirley Temple and had the voice,
had a voice.
That was like, it was a caricature of Shirley Temple's voice, but that's pretty much how she sounds. She sounds like this. Oh boy, I am so happy to be here today. Oh boy.
All right, so I right now have you know how I was feeling about Heidi, like that's my girl. I'm like ride or die for Heidi. Whatever the opposite of that is what I'm giving the Jimbo right now.
Let's see, I am Camp Jimbo.
And my thing is, y'all know me, I'm always fair on this show, so I will always give a fair review regardless of my personal biases towards people. I cannot discredit Jimbo's performance. It was a crazy ass performance, and Jimbo knows that, and Jimbo knows that the other girls are too scared.
And Jimbo
to go there.
Jimbo went there, had quips that were poignant and very
she tried to pull a Jinx Monsoon on us, but it was short lived. She did it, but it was short lived. Because at one point she got up and she started tap dancing across the floor, and she stole the moment, and that was what that's a Jinx move. Yeah, this is my camera rule. Like, she noticed that there was a moment for me. Jimbo jumped up and started tap dancing like Shirley Temple Black, and you couldn't do anything about it. It was her show at that moment.
Yeah. Now, B. Arthur having a dance history.
Thank you.
I would have
that would have been perfect.
And did like, I guess, the Urkel shuffle and like try to do a little dance off. You know what I mean? Right. To and did some and everything like the moment Shirley Temple.
There is no safe anymore. The moment Jimbo got up and started tap dancing, there is no more safe.
Like, oh no, you're not gonna shake ass out here and try to steal my man, something like that.
So that wasn't where I was gonna go, but it would have been funny if she would have treated Shirley Temple as if it was Rose. Yeah. Like, there was so many ways you could have played that. Right. Like, yeah. It was four Snacherettes up there. She could have easily made jokes on all of them being the other three women. So there was so much she could have done. Now, I did say I want to give Alexis Michelle a couple of extra credit points, right? She's going to lose them by the end of this episode. But I just want to let you know, I acknowledge you. I see you, boo. I see you. But I got you.
Yeah. So, Jimbo was outstanding. Jimbo won the second half of the Snatch Game. So the two winners of the Snatch Game of Love was James Mansfield, Jennifer Coolidge, and Jimbo as Shirley Temple Black. So those were the two winners of the Maxi Challenge, because that's what happens in this particular Maxi Challenge. But then we have the runway coming up. All right, where that part comes in to help decide who the winner of the week is. So then. The runway was reveal yourself. So they all had, tearaways and reveals and stuff like that,
Can we talk about it before we get to the runway? Can we talk about what happened in the workroom.
So let's talk about what's happened in the workroom
because so
that led to Heidi's self-elimination. All right, which was a conversation that it started off with Kahana approaching Heidi about her feelings of, like we discussed, her kicking her during the snatch game while she was down because she wasn't doing well, and Heidi then apologized to Kahana and was like, "No, I was trying to help, and try to
right." She's I would never want
to, like I wasn't trying to, because we both weren't doing good. She acknowledged that they both weren't doing good, and that they tried to figure some things out. But and try to help each other out, but Kahana was all in her own feelings because she felt as though that she wasn't doing bad, so she got in her feelings,
right.
And it wasn't Heidi's fault, and so then that spiraled into after Heidi and Kahana had their moment,
because they pretty much hashed out the moment, and then Kandi had to piggyback on that moment.
Well, since we're discussing things, Kandi had heard. I think, did Jimbo go to Kandi and say, "Hey," or did somebody else go to Kandi and say that they overheard?
No, you're right. Jimbo went to Kandi saying that Heidi came to her saying that she heard Kandi say that she would vote Jimbo out if she was in that spot.
Right.
And Heidi came to Jimbo like, "I'm just letting you know." Like, so if you guys haven't heard us mention it, or if you haven't watched the show, there was supposed to be, this is the flakiest alliance I've ever seen on RuPaul Drag Race.
It's a very Big Brother alliance.
Yeah, it was Heidi, Kandi, and Jimbo. The three of them came in from the beginning saying, "Hey, we'll be an alliance. We'll look out for each other." And that was so short-lived because they legitimately, I think all three of them were trying to get each other out. And more realistically than anything else, I think this is what I'm sensing in my spirit, right? Jimbo, the toughest competition on the show right now. Heidi, although she's not won any competitions, also one of the toughest in the show. So to be in an alliance with those two people, I'm going to manipulate and break up this alliance as much as I can, because I'm talking about Kandi, because like she doesn't stand up to Heidi or Jimbo. So the best thing she could do is get rid of them. And in some instance, it seems like it worked.
Yes.
Because Heidi had it.
It's like Jimbo is Alaska and Heidi was Detox and Kandi is Roxy. Right, to put it in, the triples, the 3-person faction of Drag Race.
But you don't even get to see their relationship or their alliance blossom before it dissolves.
Right.
Because like I think within the first couple of episodes, you started seeing them look at each other kind of sideways. And like Kandi, if you don't recall, the first couple of times when Heidi was showing that she was upset, and Kandi looking at her is like trying to call her out on it. Like, no, that was a little mixed up because that was during Jessica Wilde's win when Heidi was over it, and Kandi kind of like put her on the spot then.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Why would you put me on the spot if we in an alliance?
Exactly.
Like, what is up with that, Kandi? Like, Kandi always want to be stirring the pot. Kandi to me is a shit stirrer. Like, just a.
I think Kandi wants so bad to be the Mistress Isabel Brooks of this season, and sweetie, it's not happening. It's just not. But to make matters worse, and this is where I'm gonna get back to Alexis Michelle. Heidi said she did hear Kandi saying this, and she was saying this in front of everybody, so that way there would be no he say she say run back and tell this, because that person wasn't there to defend themselves or to verify or whatever. Alexis Michelle was also in the vicinity of this conversation happening, and Heidi said Alexis Michelle was there. Isn't this what you heard? And Alexis said yes. I mean, you could tell Alexis was very uncomfortable. Don't bring me in the middle of it. But the moment you answered Heidi, you entered the arena. And then when Kandi went, "Oh, you heard that?" "No, I didn't hear that." Which one was it? Did you hear it? Did you not hear it? So now I'm looking at Alexis Michelle like, you can't be trusted. Like, I get save your own hide, but in this situation, specifically because it's all being targeted at my girl. Now, I recently experienced something where multiple people were coming at me all at one time with different things. That shit is overwhelming. You have to worry about the pressure of the competition in itself. Then you're dishing out these amazing performances and looks, and the judges aren't seeing it for you. And then you're in a workroom and you're getting it from 2 to 3 different queens, and then someone else that could possibly verify for you flip-flop on you. And I want no parts of this. And she said, no $200,000 is worth my peace and sanity.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that's true. That is true.
So I know
you have absolutely nothing.
Yeah. So I had to. That was something I've been wanting to vent, and that put Alexis Michelle on my shit list. That put Jimbo on my shit list. Candy was already on my shit list, so she's underneath my shit list. And although I think it's far fetched, I'm rooting from this point on for Kohana Montrese. I said I stand by it. She may not win, but I'm rooting for her.
It's good. It's good. It's good to have your allegiance in place.
I do.
Because, yeah.
Because she could.
Because she could win, yes.
Because she could.
Yes.
But, it always amazes me in these seasons when we watch some really good queens go home and you see these not so good queens drift by until they absolutely cannot anymore. It sucks all the other really good ones. I got to go back and look at her seasons.
Oh, yeah. Where she made it to the finals instead of Shangela because
Yeah. That's exactly the point. Like, don't get me wrong. I have nothing against Kennedy. So I'm going through like a bunch of my old archive photos, and I found a photo of an event I did in Texas back in my mama's boys days. And there was like this underwear fashion show, and they asked me to model in it. So Miss Sophia did like the hosting, and there was this other drag queen that they were doing a little banter with. I took pictures with the person, the group pictures, everything. Come to find out, it was mother freaking Kennedy Davenport. And we had to verify, like, that is Kennedy. That was pre-Drag Race Kennedy.
Yep. And then you met...
Wait, so I was a part of HIV Stops With Me campaign in New York City, or New York State. And we did an event for one of their prides in upstate. And I met the Vivacious. I actually got a picture with Vivacious. It wasn't her best picture, so I don't know if I would ever show that one. But I was out at the age. No, she did not have Ornation. Oh. Then I was out at the Philly AIDS Walk one year in New York City, in Central Park. I saw this queen on the stage. I think Alexis Michelle performed that day too. But afterwards, after she had de-dragged and was ready to go, and there's no denying, I don't care, in drag or not, you're not going to mistake this face. I sat there with Trinity the Tug. And I was like, oh. And like, I forgot all about these pictures. So I'm finally like, Stoney, look at this.
Did Trinity know who you was?
She didn't say anything as if she did. Huh? Well, the other Trinity does know who I am.
Oh, yeah.
Trinity K. Bonet, my good girlfriend from Atlanta.
Yeah.
So, I'll have some tea about Trinity when we get off the show.
Oh!
TBK.
Yeah.
Yeah, that Trinity.
Yeah, I saw the video at the Beyonce concert meeting Beyonce's mom.
Really?
Yeah, it was something. But getting back to the show.
Sorry.
It was story time with King Kevin. All right. But so
Heidi eliminated herself. And then we have the runway.
And that eliminated herself from everything.
Yeah, fame game and everything. All right, so now we have the runway, which is reveal yourself, where all the girls have to come on the runway and reveal a look after revealing a look. And most of the girls took an opportunity to do 2 reveals. Do we want to go one by one, or do we just want to sum it up?
Let's do.
We can do it one by
We
one.
can do it as we announce our tops.
Okay.
So we're gonna dissect each top person's runway and why they were the tops. All right. But the winner of the episode, okay, was Jimbo. All right, Jimbo won. We'll get into the runway portion.
Okay.
In a second. But Jimbo won. And the bottom two All Stars were
Kahana Montrese and
Jessica Wilde, according to the judges. So that is there. So now we're going to get into our best racers, all right, and our bottom racers while we're dissecting their runway looks from this week.
Yes.
So we're going to start with our leader. Or no, let's start with our bottoms.
All right. Are we starting with our bottoms or the judges' bottoms?
No, our bottoms. We're going to start with
our according to RuPaul's Drag Race, their safes are our bottoms.
Yes. So the two queens that were safe this week, LaLa Ray and Kandy Muse, are our bottom racers. They are running the worst race in our eyes.
They are. And I think that Kandy is like really slipping in under the radar because she's really not doing anything.
Again.
She's not doing anything. There's nothing special about Kandy Muse in this season.
To me, there hasn't been. I saw more growth from Kandy during her season, in season 13 than
this return.
Than this one.
Yeah. I've seen more growth from LaLa Ri, which isn't much in this season than I've seen from Kandy Muse.
Right.
And again, it's not much.
No. Not much from LaLa.
Like Lala, but see the difference is Lala has had a few moments where you say, okay, Lala, that was cute.
Yeah.
I haven't gotten that from Kandy once.
Yeah.
Nothing. Can someone tell her how to pad? Can someone tell her how to cinch? Can someone tell her I'm sorry, not sorry.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So LaLa Ri's reveal look was to me the weakest of all of the reveal looks. All right. She had a blue cloth around her, and then she revealed to this unitard with a bow on the back that was kind of like studded out. I mean, like, looked pretty, but it was not an all-star caliber reveal, especially in comparison to the other reveals that we got on the stage. There was some type of theatrics. There was some type of, ooh ah moment with other people's reveal, and you just came out, blocking yourself, and then it was like, reveal.
Right.
It wasn't all-star quality. It was definitely something that I would have seen or would have expected to see.
I think about
season 5.
I got another story.
Season 4.
I got another story because there was no build up to it. Mm-hmm. It was like, okay, when I was younger in church, there was this house that we all used to like come to, the pastor's house. All the young people would be there. Mm-hmm. Some of the older youth that would be there. This one guy, I'm not gonna mention his name. He was a heavier guy, and he was one of the ministers in the church. He was like very funny, but he was also very stern, and he would cook his behind off. He lived here, so he would get up in the morning, mm-hmm. and instead of like getting dressed or anything, he would take a sheet and wrap it around himself and walk around the house like that all day. And he'll cook like that until we had to, like, maybe church or he had to go somewhere. That was him being comfortable in the house. He never like was revealing himself or anything. But it was like when I saw LaLa Ri, mm-hmm. that's all I thought of. Like, okay, he was naked underneath that thing. And that was that person's bathrobe, so to speak. And I felt like LaLa Ri just had on a sheet. And pulled off a sheet that happened to match the same color of her outfit.
Yeah, that was it.
She had extra fabric. She said, "Ooh, what should I do with this? Oh, it could be a cloak." That's what it was.
Yeah. Absolutely terrible. Moving on.
My stories are out of line.
Kandy Muse, right?
I actually liked her first look.
Yeah, her first look was nice. It was different from Kandy Muse. We don't normally see her in like a little 60s nod, like, housewife look.
Because of the type of skirt it was, she was forced to have a shape. Mm-hmm. And then as she would reveal, less and less shape was revealed.
Right.
It's like, I wish that Kandy Muse would sit with Trinity the Tuck for like a year.
Yeah.
Like, be her apprentice.
But you got to figure, Candy
the reason why I say
you
that,
gotta figure who's Candy Muse's drag mama is. Come on.
who's Asha?
Yeah. Yeah.
So Asha get a certain respect from me because of certain things. I'm not getting into it, but Asha also isn't one of my favorite drag queens. Trans women much respect. Drag performers not so much.
Ballroom credentials.
Got it. Heard.
All right.
Drag performing, no. It's not there.
Runs in the family.
I think that and you loyal to your family. I'm not saying that you should like drop your loyalties to your family, but get a God family because your family is failing you horribly.
Candy, yeah. Reach out to Mistress Isabel Brooks. She's
yes
into her family.
Yes, somebody that's going to give you, because like you understand drag, you know what drag is, but you just at some point you have to elevate, and Candy has never done that.
Yeah. So she pulled out of that into a red dress.
Now, gave very much like Jessica Rabbit-ish, like attempt frumpy Jessica Rabbit
with a towel or a bathrobe as the bell of the skirt. Like I like the color. Of course, everyone knows that I'm partial to red, but like when it comes to the construction of that dress and fabric choice, I thought it was all wrong.
Yeah.
And
then she added that third outfit,
the third reveal, which was like a steel corset looking thingy.
A look that we've seen her do before that has never flattered her.
And it was terrible. Looked like a refrigerator in a silver box. So yeah.
We're not being mean, by the way. If you're watching this and you're looking at this segment, you're probably saying, wow, they are tearing this girl down. They're being so mean.
No.
Watch the show for yourself.
Yeah.
Like I don't like to like speak negatively about people, but I also if you're on All Stars and you want to hold everyone else to the standard that this is a competition and you got to bring your A game, why is it that you can bring your X's game?
And we are no meaner than Bianca is on the pit stop.
Okay? No, we're not. I think we're nicer.
Yeah.
So let's just be real.
Sometimes we can be as mean as her, but and it's all coming from the same place as Bianca's is all love. All right, because we love drag. Right. That's the reason why we're sitting here. Right. Talking about it. And they love drag, so that's why they're in the competition. And you open yourself up to criticism. It is what it is. When you're in a public competition like this. So
do you ever think that some people aesthetic intentionally is busted? I went to a drag show for my birthday, and there was one.
That's their persona. Yeah, I could see a drag queen being like their whole gimmick is that this is a drag queen hobo, Yeah. And so they always like their whole like every time you see them, they in some stockings that are ripped. They got some dirt smudged over here. You know what I mean? But they always look like.
But you can tell that's their gimmick.
Yeah.
Like I saw a performer over the weekend, over the past week, and literally it was a thicker person. They had like this white cloth, looked like a shirt maybe, wrapped around their body, but just tied into a knot. Had like the blonde wig, but it was like raggedy pigtails that just stood out, and like a pair of underwear. But like the song they performed, it was like a metaphor type thing. Like I can't remember what song it was, but they kept repeating like the intro, the person saying the intro, and it just made sense. And I was like, oh, okay. It kept saying something about "look at me" or something like that. It's like, okay, there's a point to it. People do it intentionally. I can't say that Candy Muse is doing this with that in mind.
No, I don't think she's intentionally trying to suck. She just sucks. Moving on.
At least I can bring my points back home now. Usually I get lost. I'm like, here it was. I can bring my points back home. Yeah. I'm doing good.
Yeah, we are. Moving on. Honorable mentions. James Mansfield.
All right. So, James, the problem that I'm having is we've seen it already.
Mm-hmm. Yes, we are getting the same thing. Same braid on that honeybee, beehive. The same shape,
same shape, same.
You know what I mean? Like switch it up a bit. Give me something dark. Give me something,
Give me glamour without the camp.
Yeah.
Like.
Right. Give me just glamour.
Yeah.
Give me gore glamour sometimes.
And I know there's a lot of queens who have like their signature things.
And you have the wig skills to do something different.
Could you imagine if she did something that was black with a pink highlight or a blonde highlight and just turned it out different? Did something like, one thing I'll give to Darian Lake. The look that I think Candy was trying to go for in this reveal was the look that Darian Lake wore when she went home with the corset and like the garter things. Like, that was so out of Darian Lake's warehouse, but she actually killed it. Yeah. Looked amazing. I believe James Mansfield should like really step outside, try a different hair color. Don't have to necessarily be black, but do something different. Yeah. Give us something other than this camp Jennifer Coolidge situation now.
Yeah. Now we are going to go to our top 4 racers.
Now, I am definitely bitter because I have to change a couple of things because Heidi is gone. I support Heidi's decision as much as I hate it. But that definitely shakes things up a little bit. It kind of forces a couple of people to kind of like step up. So you want to go from start to finish, right? All right. So in our number 1 spot, as much as I don't want to give it to her, it's Jimbo because she's earned it.
Exactly. Congratulations, Jimbo, on the 3rd win. That is
too bad you can't win a lip sync, $15,000.
Yes.
So at least you can bank on your wins because you ain't getting that 10,000 now, 20,000, right?
Yeah, it's 20,000 this week. So Jimbo was the winner. Again, no one was eliminated because the self-elimination of Heidi and Closet. The Jimbo had to lip sync against the lip sync assassin this week, which was Jasmine Kennedy. All right, Jimbo is now officially 0-6 in RuPaul's Drag Race lip syncs. Now, unless they do lip sync Lollapalooza SmackDown for the crown,
they're not going to do that to Jimbo. They can't because there's no way she's going to win.
Jimbo is probably going to be the only crown winner to have never won a lip sync, after competing in one. Because you got Bianca Del Rio, who's never competed in a lip sync.
Yeah.
And that's fine. Hey.
But this is All Stars.
Yes.
The rules are different.
So you compete in lip syncs here. Plus, Jimbo competed in lip syncs on her actual season. So, like, of any queen to be crowned, she's never won. That's had to lip sync. Yeah. To never win one would be a first. It's going to be a first. Drag Race history. And then I was pulling for Jimbo because I was like, hey, Jimbo win. Come on, Jimbo, let's get a lip sync win. And then when it was like, reveal yourself. And
against Jasmine Kennedy.
Jasmine Kennedy was standing there. I was like, 0-6 you go. Because
no way in hell.
Jasmine Kennedy is probably the poster child of lip syncs when it comes to RuPaul's Drag Race. I mean, the queen was in her season, okay? And she's never competed on her All-Star season. But during her actual season, okay? Now, this was the season with, this was season 14. With Bosco, with Willow Pill, with Combbraid, okay, with who else was on there? Lady Camden.
Yes, Lady Camden. I was about to say something that was so horrible. I was about to say Maddie Morphosis.
Oh god,
but that's not worth mentioning.
But yeah, so season 14 was amazing. Okay. Absolutely amazing. Stacked. Like, granted, that Snatch game was terrible that season, but the quality of queens stacked, And
but then also, how many times did she
home 5 queens that season?
We know that sometimes it works against you to have to lip sync so many times, regardless of how good you are.
Yes,
because you keep ending up in the bottom, which is the only reason why you have to lip sync in the first place. People don't survive more than 3 lip syncs most times.
She survived 5 of them. 6 times she was in the bottom. 6 times. She sent home 5 queens. She is the epitome of a lip sync assassin. There was no way that Jimbo was going to beat her.
No.
None. Absolutely none. So, like, and Jimbo put up a good fight. I would say that this was probably her best fight that I've seen her put up in any of her lip syncs.
She's tired of, she's aware.
She had a reveal.
She's aware that she is going down as one of the worst lip syncs in the history
She hit the ground.
Yeah. Yo! She started off hard. Like, she almost fell and bust her ass when she first started.
Yeah.
But
you know, Jasmine Kennedy. God help you. All right?
I think we said it, but in case we didn't, let's reiterate. In the bottom was Kohana Montrese and Jessica Wilde.
So, number 2 on our best racers.
She was in the bottom.
Yes.
Is Jessica Wilde.
Yes.
In our number 2 spot.
Yes. She's running the second best race. Overall, looking at everyone else, she, like, especially with the self-elimination of Heidi and Closet, who honestly was the second best racer, you know, that moves Jessica ahead because Jessica was running the third best race at that point. But that moved her ahead to now she's running the second best race. I think that her ending in the bottom this week is an anomaly. I don't expect it to happen again this season.
I would have to say that, because you said it's an anomaly, which it is, she did not deserve to be in the bottom.
No.
Even if Heidi stayed, like,
I don't think that she would have been in the bottom.
In any situation, I don't see any situation why that made sense for her to be in the bottom.
Right, yeah. So, yeah, that's who our number 2 racer is, Jessica Wilde.
Pause. I do get it. Because if you want somebody out, like if Ru would have decided to actually let the group decide, if you really wanted somebody out, you put somebody that you know has a bad track record. Those are the mechanics and the politics behind the scenes of like, okay, let me just put these two together, because it makes no sense for Jessica to have been there, but to make sure that Kahana was going, if Ru was going to leave it up to the girls,
Kahana would have went, yeah. Because if you watched Untucked, they revealed pretty much everybody. You know, and Kahana chose, you know, Jessica because she had to. She's not going to pick herself. But it was unanimous. Everyone else chose Kahana. Kahana was going to go home had there been an elimination. Right. Like whether Jimbo won or whether Alex or whether Jasmine.
Oh, Jasmine, yeah.
Jasmine won. So, you know, it was Kahana's week to go home had there been an elimination. But again, there was no elimination. Number 3, we have Alexis Michelle, yeah, with the self-elimination of, you know, Heidi and Closet, moves up to, she's running the third best race of all the races right now.
I don't know. I feel like, is this just going to be a thrashing at this point? The rest of the season, I feel, is going to be a thrashing.
Probably.
I feel like there's going to be 1 or 2 girls who's going to realize what's happening and try to stop it, but it's going to be too late.
Yeah. Because now the thing about it is that you also have to feel like Jimbo probably feels like her back is against the wall anyway. Yeah. You know, especially with Heidi going, because Heidi was looking out for her by letting her know this. Right. You know, and I'm supposed to be in an alliance with Candy, but I can't, you know, necessarily trust her. Right. You know, so I have to win every week at all costs. And Jimbo has to have, you know, a Ben de la Creme type of run, where you're winning 5, 6 in a row, you know, and you're just, you know, but you got to win some lip syncs. The thing with Benda's run on All Stars, okay?
She can lip sync.
Is that Benda won some lip syncs, okay? Benda sent some assassins home packing and got those tips, all right? Yeah. Jimbo has not, so we got to see, you know, but yeah, Alexis Michelle running the third best race. That's all I can say about that.
And then we have my girl, Kahana Montrese.
Yep, running the 4th best race. Even though she was in the bottom 2 this week, and she would have went home, and honestly, justifiably so, based off of the performance. Right. Her reveal look, I thought, was nice. I thought her reveal look was very nice. It was naked to get more naked.
You never really see that. But now, I think what Kahana is doing could easily backfire because it's getting repetitive to some extent.
It's getting Vegas showgirly all the time.
It's getting very repetitive. Vegas,
you know,
it's just like we say with James Mansfield,
which is different because we just had Anitra from Vegas. We knew Anitra was from Vegas, but Anitra gave us different silhouettes, different looks. It was varied. It was popping, Yeah. Like, if you're going to be from Vegas, bring us to Vegas, but also, show us what you got. And she just brought Vegas.
Yeah. So it was definitely very, if we were going off her runway alone, she probably would have not won, but she wouldn't have been in the bottom.
No, her runway was hot.
Yeah, her runway was so sexy. And then she did this one where it reveals like everything.
Yeah. She
and her perfect
came out
tuck.
like a little bikini and then popped it off, but had this boa like kind of blocking, you know what I mean, and stayed back. It was like an old school burlesque show.
It was good. It was fun.
She popped off her little bikini bottom and then had like little pasty back there, kind of gave the illusion of a little fat pocket, And
it's a shame when we're sitting here talking about how amazing this outfit was, and it was still kind of weak in this competition. Yeah. It goes to show that the stakes are extremely high in this show, and you don't get much room to mess up. So at this point, I think everybody except Jimbo needs to up their game if they really want to be a part of this competition.
Right. Just because we didn't talk about Alexis Michelle and Jessica Wilde's reveal, Jessica Wilde came out in yellow, kind of a nod to her
chicken,
and then she pulled that off and was an egg and a nice little 60s mod egg style dress,
which was so cute. And then she pulled that off to reveal like the yolk on the inside of different spots, and it was like a bikini type thing.
Yeah, it was like a bodysuit type of deal with like egg yolks and everything. Like
I got the yolks.
Yeah, so you got that yolk. But yeah, hers was nice. Hers was very, very solid. Then Alexis Michelle's reveal. Alexis Michelle's reveal was inspired by Into the Woods and everything.
Oh yeah, it was just the one look.
She came out with like this mask and under these garbs and stuff.
Yeah, looking like a decrepit witch, and
like Meryl Streep looked in Into the Woods and stuff like that. And then she did a little spin and flipped it all down, and it folded into this black gown, and she had this black wig on, but like one eye was black and one eye was white. I thought that was
the context. The context inside was one black and white.
Yeah, I thought that was a bit of a miss. In my opinion,
it didn't read as strong as I think she wanted it to.
But overall, she looked gorgeous, like she always does. You can't fault her for being a beauty. And then we talked about Hannah Montrese and everybody else's. So right now in the Fame game, we still only have 4 queens in the Fame game. We have Monica Beverly Hills, Naysha Lopez, Mrs. Kasha Davis, and Darian Lake. Because again, no one was eliminated this week, thanks to RuPaul's terrible decision, as well as keeping Candy and Lala Ree safe. Terrible decision.
Yes.
But yeah, and
see, that's all political in my opinion, because you keep the worst girls around, so it's very clear when the winner is announced.
Right.
There's no competition.
It's different if it's political. It's different, like with the whole Kennedy Davenport season. She was kept around by the queens. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, the producers didn't have to do anything because the queens knew what was going on.
Right.
They were going to keep Kennedy around because they figured, hey, Kennedy's the weakest of all of us, and so she's the easiest one to beat. That's how they played that season. It's been subsequent seasons where I think the queens have been like, okay, we're going to go off a track record. We're going to listen to what the judges are saying. If you get the back kick, then you're probably going to go home.
Right.
And that was until Relaska Talks came along and started playing the game. And then, they went on their run, and Katia came close to, being the second person to beat Relaska Talks. But, close but no cigar for Katia. This season of All Stars is totally different. You know what I mean? And it's totally different from even past seasons of traditional All Stars. And it's definitely weird for us because we had that beautiful, beautiful full course meal with 2 desserts and 2 appetizers and 4 drinks that was All Stars 8. Like we had that. So we're a little bit like,
All Stars 8. This is All Stars 8.
Oh, All Stars 7. I'm sorry. All winners, All Stars 7.
Yeah.
But All Stars 8 is, back to the normal. So we're like, oh, and then like I said, we've already spoken past show, that the grouping of queens in general are snoozers outside of Heidi and Jimbo.
Yeah, like we were when we first started seeing the castings. It was like, okay, we'll see. We'll give it a shot.
Who ordered this? Remember that? Yeah. So we are getting what we're getting. We kind of knew it was going to be a Heidi and Jimbo show. And now it's just going to be a Jimbo show. We'll see if Jimbo can hold on to win this crown.
I want to know who that, because right now it's not clear to me who the queen that's going to come out guns a-blazing to give Jimbo a run for her money right now. Because again, Jessica's strong. Like, she would be the closest thing to that.
Yeah.
But I can see where Jessica could easily be knocked off.
Yeah.
So, because if Kahana wanted to get her head out her ass, and the same thing for freaking Alexis Michelle, they could actually they collectively could knock Jimbo off.
Yeah.
Let there be an alliance between the two of them and Jessica Wilde by Jimbo. Literally.
Yeah, definitely.
But
definitely.
Tis what it is.
So we are at that point. We're at that point, folks, like when we get to the offering in the church.
That is so bad. That's one of the main reasons why I avoid church now. It's not because I don't want to hear the word. It's just I don't want y'all to. Right.
Church is expensive. 10%. And 2 offerings. You want 10% and 2 offerings?
It's the singers choir offering, and then it's the usher boys offering, then it's the guest preachers offering, then it's the house offering, then it's pastor's anniversary.
I ain't asked for the guest preacher today. My tithes are paying for a regular pastor to be here. All right, that is who I want. That is who I want to preach to me. All right, the one I'm paying. I ain't asked for this other one to come so that I can give them more money. I'm already paying one.
But if you're not, go to this website right here. Let me back this up so y'all can see where I'm pointing to. Yes, and purchase your copy of A Life of Lust: Memoirs of the Porn Star. What are those guys called at the airport that do that? The air control?
No, they're not.
What are they called? The ramp something? I
don't know. Ramp people, yeah.
Yes. Come over this way. Happy Pride. Read about my pride. And so, that was actually going to be, that played a part in the name of my title.
What?
The lust of the eye, the lust of flesh, the pride of life, based off of a scripture. And that's why I wanted to make sure that lust was in it, or a life of lust. Specifically, like when we would talk about the title, like it had to be some variation of that, because that's why
and it's a play. The whole book just shows
it's a play on words
between the lust that he has for life, and then the lust that comes in and out of his life.
Guys, I'm getting older. Go get this book and read up about me. Read up. I just had someone send me a message on Instagram. I call him my birthday twin because obviously our birthdays are on the same day. But he sent, I'm not even going to read it all on air, but he sent me all of this as a review, talking about how similar our lives are, from like family issues to church to health to like so much. It's crazy how you can find something and identify that you weren't even thinking about. I strongly encourage you to go to KevynM.com and purchase your copy of this book. I wrote a portion in the book called the 10 lessons, takeaways that I've come up with from like my journeys. But some of the stuff that people are telling me about that have touched them or that they've learned from had nothing to do with those 10 takeaways. It was like, it's in the book. It's in the meat of the book.
Yes.
So
get you some of this good book meat. And
shout out to my twin for sharing your story with me as a result of you learning more about me. Thank you. So, is there anything else you want to say to these wonderful, lovely people, Mr. Stoney Greatness?
Happy Pride Month. Happy Pride Month. Thank y'all for coming. God bless you. Good night.
Night, night.